experienced before. And I'm not talking vehicular homicide, I'm talking homicide straight up, and it's like we've got like 14 or something, and normal is like 3 or 4. So part of that's just backlog, and so anyway, interesting fact though. That's all I got. Any questions?
Which one is the vehicular homicide?
That was the one that happened right up on top of,
48th and
yeah, down the hill before the trestle.
high school senior last year.
Yes, gotcha.
Yeah. So that one's still pending.
I'd asked him about that because I hadn't read anything recently last night.
See, I remember these things. I check.
Very good. Any more questions? Thank you very much, Captain. And do you have a report or anything for us? You just monitoring or?
No, I missed last month, and we were on vacation in Florida. Wasn't too shabby. But no, just had a really busy start to June, and we haven't even hit the brush fires yet. So I'm probably going to be hitting up Rainier here in a little bit, and maybe going around looking at some vacant lots that are or just overgrown areas in the city limits, and seeing what we can do about getting some of those, mitigated before really the fire season starts. So that's all I have for now. So all the any of the inspections I've been doing, people are very compliant with getting their stuff fixed and getting up to code. So, and thanks for letting me borrow your cones at the church the other day, Thursday. It was kind of convenient. I pulled up there and looking for a spot to make a landing zone. I saw those big cones up there. I'm like, perfect.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so appreciate it. Yeah.
Any questions? Super. Adam, do you have anything other than later?
Yeah, I do. So we just had a pre-construction meeting for the sports course project. A schedule provided by Black Hills Excavating has been included in your packet. So I don't know if you had a chance to look it over. I just had Tammy include it this afternoon. Let me know if you see any issues, but I think it's good. They also specified where the basketball court will be closed for fencing and surfacing. They'll be moving their equipment
This Thursday, Friday.
Thursday and Friday. Yeah. So to start seeing some equipment down there. We asked too that the county police keep an eye on it, maybe.
Where's it going to be at again?
Down at the basketball court. Yeah.
Be on the east end of the court.
Okay. I'll let our patrols know.
That'd be great.
They'll be doing construction there through the end of August. Yeah. Also, they sent me some color options for the courts, and before I was going to go with the usual standard that most pickleball courts seem to have, and looks really nice on the Woodruff one in Olympia. There are other color options. I don't know if anyone had any input or preferences. I sent some information to Tammy as well as a link to the Woodruff court from Google Maps Street View, so you can assess it if you want. But that could be the basketball color courts too, the basketball court colors. So
Do you need an answer tonight?
I don't know if anyone has any objection or if they have any preferences on it. If you guys want to think about it and consider it later, consider it next meeting, or is it a big issue? Or
I don't see it as a big issue.
okay,
I just wonder why we need to spend a bunch of money to paint them. What's wrong with regular concrete lines on it?
well, it's asphalt, but
Or asphalt with lines?
And it seals it, doesn't it?
it seals it, and it's for court plain colors. So
And it's too late anyway. It's already in the bid.
It's already
So
bid.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean you have to have colors on your courts for playing. So and the lines, and so. Anyways, that's all I have regarding that. So that's my update.
Any questions for Adam? Thank you, Adam.
Yep.
Dennis?
I attended TRPC last Friday, and two things that popped up that I think important. They haven't looked at member assessments in several years, nice Rainier looks, how they enjoy coming through town, especially on the trail, because it's so well maintained, and I thought that's pretty slick. Other than that, I don't have any.
Any questions for Dennis? Thank you, Dennis. Tomorrow, I have the TPP morning meeting at 7:30, and that's basically all I have. Any questions? Tom?
We just got our upcoming EOC Thurston County meeting. There's been kind of some mix-up with them, and so we're just trying to get that straightened out. And if there's any changes or anything with Thurston County, I'll let you know on our next meeting. Other than that, that's all I got.
Any questions for Tom? Thank you, Tom. Ryan?
Not a whole lot, just pure Thurston County SWAC. They're really pushing for food waste to be composted, not thrown away. And kind of just changing the rules on the whole composting, so that'll be coming pretty soon.
Thank you. Any questions for Ryan? Thank you, Ryan. Mo?
No, this is
Thank you, Mo. Well, Bill, I guess you're up. Anything besides what you have on the agenda?
Well, I cluttered it enough, but in case anybody's interested, summer starts earlier this year than it has since George Washington's presidency on the 20th, if anybody cares.
Since I wasn't around, then that's okay.
Okay, well, actually, it's gonna happen 3 more times this century, but that's just another story.
Any questions for Bill? Thank you, Bill. Tammy, you're up.
I don't really have anything this time either. Just Dennis is going to the AWSD conference. Didn't know if he was going to mention that in yours, so we got him signed up for that, which is next week. Yes, down in Vancouver. So this weekend is the big swap meet at the Wilkowski Park. So part of Bill's discussion on the agenda is insurance, requiring people that rent our facilities to have insurance for that event. And it sparked because of this, because we're getting a lot of use down there. So anyways, when Bill gets to that subject, that's kind of where it came from. So that's really all I have that I can think of right now. Besides my granddaughter, which I meant to print it in color, but she's smiling now, so which is super fun to FaceTime her when she actually acts like she knows that I exist. So
That's a good start.
it's a good start. So that's all I have.
Any more questions for Tammy? Thank you, Tammy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guess that concludes the staff reports. We'll move on to new business. Basically, we have the 6-year comp plan. Adam, I guess you got that?
Yes, the 6-year transportation improvement plan. There are no changes from last year. I just moved the dates and updated costs for inflation. So it should be a pretty easy review and approval. But if anyone has any issues with it, please let me know. I did try again to get the Center Street and Binghamton, Center Street South and Binghamton intersection on there, but they still refuse to fund it because of the drainage under the street. I also reached out again to the county this year and the state, and they also gave a no like before. So, however, I did make a little inroad with TIB. They see the need to reconsider certain projects in special cases where the drainage under the road has failed. So it's being discussed at least.
Where we have drainage failure under Center Street.
Yeah,
Yes.
right, that in.
That's why, even though we worked on it several times.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it floods and alligators and
Oh,
Yeah.
chips up,
Yeah.
chunks up.
you only put so many patches on things, so
Yeah.
it's time.
Well, that's probably gonna wait until the roundabout.
Well, that's, 5 years down the road, that's a $6 million project. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not sure that road has 5 years down the road, to be honest with you, you need gravel. So, they may need to do something.
Where is it supposed to drain?
Where's it supposed to drain?
Yeah.
You got catch basins, crossover pipe, and a leach pipe that perks going down the side. The crossover's failed, and the perk is pretty well clogged up. We tried to jet it out several times, but it's, you know, it went in the, early 70s, I believe. So, I've been around here a long time, and went in the 40s, so, yeah. But there is a few options that can be done. And I've talked with Adam, we've been kicking things around, but as far as trying to get funding to do actual drainage work, you can see he's having a hard time. I can't get it. Anything.
We've tried to argue it on the grounds that the highway is draining, all of this, rainwater comes off of the highway and into the drainage infrastructure that the city owns. It's still within right of way of the highway, but, the code says that the right of way is the city's responsibility, as is the drainage. So, this is why WashDOT has refused to fund it. But they have asked us to kick it back again in TID, so I did that again, and they're at least discussing it now. So,
Hopefully.
yeah, I think they've seen the need with a few other projects that have come up where there's a drainage issue, and their immediate answer is no, we don't cover that, but they're seeing that in certain cases it's enough related with transportation with the road, and it should be covered and considered. So, if anything becomes of it, develops in the next few weeks, I still have time to revise the list, and we could approve a new list at the next council meeting in July. And they are kind of lenient too with adding things to the list later, so. But
So are we looking for approval tonight, or?
yeah, for that list, yes. Yeah, as soon as we approve that, I have it all ready to go on the website, on the state website, so I will just add the resolution and submit it.
John, I also had a question about the Michigan Street sidewalk improvements.
Yeah,
Part of that is us, but about half of that is that guy that's developing that property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's at a standstill right now.
Because of,
I don't know. I would guess lack of funds, I don't know. That's the last I heard, but I don't know why he's at a standstill.
that's one I'd really like to see move ahead and get that flashing pedestrian signal. But that's one of those things that perhaps we could get funds and do it and charge him for his portion.
The late,
Yeah.
it's doable, but that's not what we can do.
No, it's not easy to do. We could sit around forever waiting.
Well, yeah, but the latecomer thing is a, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but I think there's a time limit on those. If you do a latecomer, there's still needs, I wanna say 5 years, 7 years, so if he doesn't develop anything for X number, you don't do anything on that, we just, you know, so, it's not,
Okay.
I
Well,
I support the 6-year transportation plan, the way it's written.
so I move that we approve the new 6-year listing.
Resolution 552.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 552. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. for you, Bill?
It's for me, actually, mostly it's for Rainier, but, and I'll let him speak to that. We have had some problems recently with, campers, if you will, especially, motor homes. Apparently used wood free for the picking or what's left of them, and they wind up down here sometimes. And the idea of this is to limit parking in most public places to 72 hours. Something that we really don't have anyplace else, because motorhomes and camper trailers are not treated as if they were trucks or trailers under other provisions in the code. So this gives us some handle on that. The only other changes I made to this was to take out the word written from owner's permission, if somebody's got permission to put it on their property, because I can't imagine anybody doing that with, other than after the fact anyway. And the correct spelling of wastewater, which is one word, according to Marianne Webster. So, Rainier, you got anything to add to that?
Just on the, basically where, as Bill said, we've had a lot of influx of people coming, campers. As the captain had mentioned a couple months back, with the, law enforcement going into a lot of these encampments that are out there and breaking them up, people start flowing out to other areas. So to prevent that from happening within the city limits, the way the ordinance read before was just geared more towards commercial vehicles. So we want, Bill and I got together to get something that scares us more towards commercial, not just commercial vehicles, but just vehicles in sense. There's a lot of right-of-way, just like in Canine, you guys have a lot of right-of-way parking. What's happening is people start storing campers, trailers, boats, and things like that on the right-of-way. Then what happens if you have any kind of a situation on the right-of-way where the public works have to get into? Now they're waiting for either a tow truck or themselves having to hook it up and move the thing out of the way. So this way here gives us law enforcement and code enforcement more power to say, hey, there's a 72-hour ordinance for continuous parking. At 72 hours, you gotta move. You can't store and habitate on the city right-of-way inside of the campers. I think that'll help to alleviate people from bringing them and staying 2 to 3 months at a time.
Tammy and Bill, I noticed on here we show the ordinance as 552 on this staff report. It says 722 is what it should
Because
be.
I screwed up.
I know.
Yeah.
The ordinance is listed right,
Yeah,
but
the ordinance is correct. I just want to point out that the
Thank
staff
you.
report was wrong.
thank you.
I was reading the next resolution number when I typed it up.
No problem, Bill.
Okay, hopefully that, so you said if you make a motion, it would be to pass 722, not 522.
I would entertain that motion.
I'd like to approve ordinance 722.
Second.
Motion and a second for ordinance 722. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 722 passed, 5-0. Okay, next on the agenda, the interlocal agreement with Thurston County to continue participation in the CDBG block grant entitlement program. You again, Bill. Percentage.
Okay, this is, it was the county that requested that we approve it. Technically, it's supposed to just continue on unless we opt ourselves out. But, the amount of community development block grant money we're gonna be entitled to is usually not a whole lot, and it's certainly easier to have the county take care of that. And we've done that for what, 6 years now?
Yes.
Yeah, and so this is just a continuation of it. The county would like us to have a specific approval. So anybody has questions, ask away. I probably don't have the answer.
Nor do I. But we can.
We don't know, just money shows up every once in a while.
Just don't look at me. Okay, entertain a motion.
I move that the city of Rainier continue to participate in the federal community development block grant entitlement program and the memorandum of understanding Thurston County and the city of Yellow, Rainier, and I know, and the town of Beacon.
It's a mouthful.
I'll second it. There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed, 5-0. Okay, we're down to the park privilege agreement. Bill, well, you're on the hot spot tonight.
It is, it's just one of those weeks, I guess. If you remember a year or two ago, we had quite a discussion about charging park fees and what have you. And I will let Tammy discuss what brought this up this time. We have somebody who wanted to use the park facilities, and I think you put that as a somewhat shady, I think that was the term that you used, and wanted to know if she should require that they produce some insurance. Well, technically under the ordinance, everybody's supposed to provide a certificate of insurance, and most of those who do are local, and they generally have insurance, and we're supposed to get a certificate of insurance. So I looked into it, and some of these things are, they're purely voluntary, and people come to them, and there's even no charge for them, and that sort of thing. And so there are maybe instances that we have where people want to use the park, where they're just doing park or outdoor recreation kinds of things, and we might be much better off to not charge them any fee at all, and to not require any insurance, and make use of what's called the recreational immunity statute. Typically, if you've opened up your land for public use, for recreation, you're immune from everything except, your intentionally wrongful conduct towards them. There are some exceptions to that, but we would have to look at those on probably each step. I suppose that our insurance carrier would say, no, always get a certificate of insurance. We don't have to pay anything. But I'm not sure that's in the public's interest necessarily. But I didn't put this on for action because I figured you might want to talk about it some. Tammy, you want to add something to that?
I don't really know what to add to it. As I stated earlier, because of the nature of the event that's taking place over there this weekend, had my wheels turning about we probably should have some sort of insurance coverage from the coordinators of these events. Even things that go on in the church, like the weddings and such. We've had people before that had a birthday party that were having a bouncy house purchase an insurance for that event. It's fairly inexpensive for a one-day event like that. So my wheels were just turning about if this is something that maybe we should be requiring. I don't foresee any problems, but I was just thinking if they back into our new fence and tip it over, who pays for that? I'm sure Joe Blow down the street doesn't have money to repair a fence, and so then that falls on the city of Rainier. So that's why this conversation came up. He did get insurance for this weekend, so the problem is solved for this weekend. But the question, I guess, is if this is something we want to require in the future for special events at the park. Not
like a limitation on like what type of event it is for it to need insurance. You know what I mean? Like field games, or is it just like a vendor fair, or like is there limitations on cost or when you'd actually need it, or is it just anytime?
That's what I don't know. So I know when I reached out to AWC and asked them this question, they said, yes, you should require, it's not mandatory, but it's wise to require your event coordinators to have insurance. And they sent me paperwork for, it's called Gather Guard, and they're the company that provides insurance to these coordinators. And so we put our addresses of the facilities that we rent in there. They can click on the link, they can click on the address, and then they specify what their event looks like, and then it tells them how much it'll cost. So I was just playing with it, and I put in like the swap meet, and I think it was like $150. A wedding, $75. So it's fairly inexpensive. However, Rob, who's having the swap meet this weekend, said he got his own insurance and he told me it was $800. So, which is pretty steep.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So anyways, I guess that's why this came to light. We've never had a problem. I don't foresee any problems, but you never know.
I'd like to add one thing. I would support an event having insurance. I really would. And I'm not talking an event like someone wants to have a birthday party with 15 people down at the park and use the little, I don't think that's necessary. That's not what I would call an event. But this event that's happening down here on this weekend and then later at the end of the month, and I think that it's an actual quote open to the public event. I think they should have insurance. I think they, I really do.
That's kind of the stand. That was kind of my opinion too. We Love Rainier has their own insurance rider, so all of the We Love Rainier events are covered under theirs. So that's taken care of. Rob has his for this weekend. I've emailed the 2 car shows that are coming up and asked them to get insurance. I haven't heard back from them. So I just don't want to push people out of Rainier either, because I think they're like, sweet, we can have a car show for $100, and now they're not going to be able to have a car show for $100. They're going to have a car show for probably $300, which might be all of their profits. I have no idea. So I didn't want to make this decision on my own.
Anybody else discussion? I know, I've worked for multiple jurisdictions in Washington, and their council meeting stuff, they always talk about providing insurance for any event. And they make it mandatory in several large cities I know of, so. I don't know, it's a safety thing for the city.
Okay.
And, I'm in favor of requiring it, but I wouldn't be opposed if providers against it either.
Do we know what Tenino and Yellen?
Tenino requires it,
I haven't asked.
the code requires it.
All specialty event permits are insurance in the concert, the Oregon Trail Days, Farmers Market, car shows.
So I guess that would be a safe way to put it, like weddings and such as private events.
Yeah,
Public events where anybody could show up might be that might be our,
might be so,
right.
Especially if you have a beer garden.
Oh, yeah.
Beer garden.
definitely a beer garden.
Yeah, because normally there's no drinking in city parks, but
Right.
a special event that allows it, that's with insurance. So,
Yeah.
courthouse rentals, things like that, would require that insurance.
Well, I think it's a good idea to require for the protection of the city. And whoever, but I agree with Ron, if, my neighbor wants to bring his in-laws and go down to Wilkowski and use a picnic shelter for a birthday party or something, or an anniversary, fine, do it.
Yeah, I agree.
So events that allow the public is kind of what we're leaning towards.
Yeah, private event, I don't.
Okay.
But a public event.
That's kind of what I've done so far. The applications that we have for the rest of this summer are the ones I've reached out to. So that makes sense to me, if it makes sense to you guys.
What happens though if something, there is a wedding there and something happens, then where is that, is that covered under us? Something happens to the church or the fence or?
Well, on our application is like they hold us harmless.
They hold us harmless. There's a couple of things that are going on here. One of them is what insurance companies call exposure. That is that something happens and you're going to get dragged into a claim or lawsuit because somebody gets hurt or injured as a result of something that happens. If somebody's using the church for a wedding and somebody gets into a fist fight and gets hurt, or they get drunk and they fall off the steps, they may drag the city into litigation. The question is will they win or lose? And of course, when the insurance company is faced with, well, we pay this guy some money and he leaves, or we pay an attorney a bunch of money to defend it and maybe lose, that's what they're worried about. Whatever, I think all of these say that they're supposed to hold us harmless and indemnify us if anything goes wrong. And so we might have a claim against somebody else, but if they don't have insurance to back it up, then we're probably wasting our time. And the other issue is whether we should be named as an additional insured on the policy. And if we require they give a policy and name us as an additional insured, then we turn to that insurance company for coverage in the defense of any kind of claim, if that makes sense. Now, the recreational immunity statute gives us immunity. That doesn't mean we don't necessarily get a claim. And it's usually the only way we can use that for protection is that we don't charge anybody any money. And whoever's putting it on doesn't charge anybody either. And there are all sorts of little details that go along with that. In which case, we would be in a position to, you could allow them to do that if you don't charge them a fee, and if they don't charge anybody a fee, that is completely free to the public. And it's a recreational sort of thing that maybe you shouldn't have to do that. So, try and balance things out. That's kind of what I tried to do with this draft. But I wanted you to talk about it, think about it, because it's, it's an issue. We've never had any really bad things happen, but there's always the first time.
And
Covers
yes,
damages as well.
our insurance, yes, would take care of that for us if something were to happen and we did get a claim. Yes, our facilities are all insured. Yes.
Do we have a consensus on this and basically if we go the direction then?
I agree with it.
So we'll just keep how I was doing it. If public's there, they need insurance. Okay.
And bring it back to the ordinance or what we need to do legally?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure, did we need to change the ordinance? I think our ordinance already.
The ordinance requires that we get insurance from everybody.
Right, okay.
And we need to change it then.
So you don't need to change it if that's what you want to do.
I thought it was on public, private,
Yeah.
if they don't pay anything.
If it's completely free, the way I wrote this is the city, we made a determination that this is something that could be covered by the recreational immunity statute. Like some neighborhood group gets together and has a pickleball contest for the kids and reserves our courts for that purpose. And we don't charge them, they don't charge the kids anything, then the statute would probably apply. So, but under the circumstances right now, we charge them $100 and require that they get insurance. So that's the issue. And so I thought you probably should chew on that for just a bit.
We don't charge for sport courts though. The only thing we charge for at this point is the church and Wilkowski Park, the field.
Well, that's something that we probably should think about, when we get these new pickleball courts. As popular as that is, I foresee that somebody's gonna come and want to take them for a weekend to have some kind of an organized tournament. In that case, we ought to be paid. If, just whoever wants to go over there and play, that's fine, like we do with the basketball court. But if it becomes an organized event, which is gonna entail money from somebody, we probably should
Yeah.
charge a fee.
tournaments usually, you know, require somebody pays a registration fee of $25 or something like that. So that takes it out of that, and yeah, they should be.
In an article last week in the Olympian that they were actually having trouble with the pickleball courts because so many people want to play at the same time. And so they started scheduling it for people.
Be a nightmare.
Isn't that great?
We're gonna need a Parks Department if that's happening. I am not Parks Department.
That's a whole other department.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna see that, it's, there, you know.
Maybe initially. I don't foresee it being a problem
I
forever.
say you give people time to work it out.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you ever rent them out or have them reserved? Or would just,
Well, it could be free of it. but-
No.
because there are, I believe there are private indoor places too, where maybe people would be more likely to do a tournament.
Yeah.
So in a public park, I don't know if you wanna make a policy where you just first
Yeah.
come, first serve at any time.
Yeah.
They just held a tournament down at Rainier Vista in Lacey last week.
Oh.
Pickleball tournament. Yeah.
That's the place over near Cabela's there.
No, Rainier Vista's on like Yelm Highway and College.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cause I understand there's a big one there near Cabela's.
Oh, really?
That's what I was told, there's some.
Oh, really?
I had
Called-
Well, that's the indoor one, I think.
It's called 23 Kitchens, yes.
23 kitchens.
Mhm.
Okay, any more business for the good order?
I have a question on this old business, if I can.
Sure.
And excuse me if you guys have talked about this when I was gone last month, but is there an update on the fence? Down
Yeah,
on-
Mr. Taylor, I spoke with him yesterday. He's had a run of bad luck last couple months. He's been in and out of doctors. He's got pinched nerves. He's got bone spurs on his spine that are continuous nerves. And so he's been getting epidurals shots in his spine. Prior to the insurance company, he was trying to get the surgery done. Prior to surgery, he has to get these epidurals in order to appease the insurance company. And then once he's done with these, then hopefully he can get the surgery. His son, who lives out in Illinois, was on his way out here about 3 weeks ago to come help him to fix the fence. Son, on his way here, broke down, transmission blew. So he had just finally got a new transmission put in, and according to Mr. Taylor, he's gonna be driving out here on Saturday. So we're hoping next week to see some action happening over there. The awning structure that you see being put on there right now, I did speak to him, that's what kind of sparked my interest, like, wait a minute, what do we got going on over here? We're supposed to be knocking this fence down, now we're building things on it. It's just a temporary awning that she's putting up for this week. She wants to have a yard sale. So she wants to have something to cover her stuff with out there, to be able to leave it out overnight for 30 days. And then that will be coming down after the yard sale.
And this is where?
Here on Big Hampton.
Okay, the guy with the 6-foot
Yes.
fence is supposed to be.
203, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's called a number of times, hey, can I get an extension? This happened, that happened, you know. But he's keeping in communication, which I love. He's not ignoring me. He's just, one thing after the other seems to be happening to him. Just giving bad luck, so. I've given him some extensions. He actually now has till the 24th of this month to get it taken care of.
I thought you were talking about the fencing around our field out here.
Any more questions